Hi there, lovely people. Good morning from Dhaka, Bangladesh. 5:30 here in Dhaka right now in the morning. Yesterday I had a pretty traumatizing day, and I would like to share some of it. And I also would like to talk about fragrance topic as well. So I'm gonna try to do like morning thoughts episode. I have prepared some coffee. I slept pretty not late night. I slept like for 5 6 solid hours before I woke up. So I'll just do this video. If you don't find these kind of topics interesting, just skip the video. I don't mind at all. I just do make content once in a while. Well, I talk about my life updates and stuff like that. Okay, so some days gonna be good days, some days gonna be darker days. This is a phase that's going on with me. So I share with you because some of you really care for me and you wish me all the best. Some of you say the nicest and kindest things to me. Thank you so much. Like I cannot thank you enough. All your prayers and love, appreciate it. So let's have final sip at the coffee and then we'll talk about it. So I've just finished one video and I'm not going to rush in this video because I want to talk about my updates, and I'll talk about this topic, why the reasons why not to collect fragrances. Okay, watch this so you'll understand some of my points. Hopefully you'll agree and let me know your thoughts as well. If you don't agree also, let me know. So yeah, thankful for the coffee. Always good thing to have in the morning to wake your senses up. If I don't have coffee in the morning, I'm not pretty at all. I'm very unpleasant to be around. I get very cranky, and until I get my food and coffee joined, man, it's difficult to start a day. Some of you agree with that coffee note, especially. Uh, so what? Let me talk about what happened yesterday. Then I'll talk about why the reasons not to collect perfumes. Okay, what happened yesterday was I woke up pretty early, and nowadays I'm going through a little bit depression because I'm having series of sickness one by one. I think it's pretty much related to my sugar problem. I'm reducing like sugar intake a lot, but I need to have once in a while. But I reduced all the juice, all the sugary drinks that I used to have, and I take natural fruits and stuff. But still, I try to walk, take medication. But then once in a while I get like sick, and then it doesn't seem to go away. I have some, I had an operation on the side, which kept me out for 1 month plus. That procedure of that big, I forgot that what it was called, but it was like a big pimple on the side. It had to be drained out. It had to be cut open. Anyway, and since then I've been going for last 3 months. I'm going through some tough times, so I don't mind because I feel God loves you enough to give you hard time to test you, okay, or make you appreciate good things in life. Maybe you are making a mistake somewhere along the line, and you need to rethink your process. Okay, so yeah, that's a part of that tragedy and mishap. Okay, yesterday morning I woke up and I got very hungry, and I really wanted to order something through Food Panda, or we have Pathouse service here, which is basically you just call the same thing as Food Panda. You can order through the app, and then you can get some food ASAP. In the morning they have some shop that's open. They serve breakfast. So I could not find any shop open. I got really like angry, and also the other app, the Food Panda, they seem to be log me out or something like that, and I couldn't log in, and I got really angry. I'm like, I'm hungry. I need to go out. So it was weekend. Saturday's weekend, so my parents were out on holiday. I was all alone at home, so I didn't feel like going out in the morning and walk. I just wanted to go there quickly. So I drove, and I had breakfast at one place. I took some, we call it in Malaysia bungkus, and Indonesia I also feel the same. It's takeaway parcel. So I was like, okay, I need to get some green veggies and some fruits for my birds, and then I'll just go home and just sleep because I did not have enough sleep at last night. And I also had to clean the house because my parents would come back, yesterday morning. So I want to keep the house neat and clean. So I don't know what got to me. I went to wet market, and then I parked the car and I got all my stuff. I started driving, and I wanted to get home. I was in a rush a little bit because I want to sleep, and the roads are pretty empty. But we do have a problem of certain things called trishaw rickshaw in Bangladesh. They are thousands in number. They're like bicycle, basically with 3 wheels. Also in India and Bangladesh we have. So basically a guy pedals it and then drive, and they don't have the highest speed, but they do drive like they don't care and they're invincible, and they don't want to give you side, because in Bangladesh there's traffic system is totally different than your countries. There's no traffic light. People don't maintain lanes. It's the most horrible thing here. So you have to like count on your luck and drive according to you have to like swing with the traffic and flow. So for the last 6 years I've been driving here, 6 7 years, I never had an accident ever. And guess what? Yesterday, one of the rickshaws, I was trying to overtake him because he was not giving me a side. So I took him over. I went past him, and he, for some reason, decided to make a right turn. Right turn means like he wanted to go to the right side. So I went past him and he got somehow his front wheel stuck in the rear bumper of mine. We do have extra bumper at the back of our and front of our car to save the car from basically people like to, do this to your car nowadays for a long time. So he got stuck there and he fell. And he fell on his arm and he broke his what do you call elbow. And I was totally, I mean, you hear no sound, suddenly go to that place where you don't hear anything and you just hear distant noise and your heartbeat just, because you literally do not know what happened. There's a big noise. I was like, what happened? Because when I went past, I didn't see anything. So I thought I ran over some branches because they're cutting some trees. And I really, to my shock, I saw the guy was on the road and he started screaming and crying. I ran. And here, Bangladesh is a bit risky here because here we have the mob mentality. People who have cars, people hate people with cars and stuff. It's the sad fact. People think like, whenever they get a chance, they want to bash the people who are driving a car or something because, they think like we are the like enemy to poor people here. And I came out and then people started saying, hey, stop him, like he doesn't get away or something. I said, I'm not getting away, I'm trying to help him. So the people at first they were angry, then they realized that it was his fault and he fell. Some of the guys who said no, we saw him taking a right turn and then he actually got stuck and strangled and he fell. So I didn't care. For me, my well-being was at stake, but also he was bleeding from the face and I saw his arm was swelling. Of course, I got pretty shook up, but I also was concerned for him the most. So I took him to the hospital, emergency. It was weekend, doctors were not there. So we did do x-rays and all that. He took care of his wounds and then we gave him painkiller injections and stuff. But he was still moaning for pain. Of course, it's very painful. If you haven't broken arm or something, you'll understand. Dislocated, basically. And the thing is that hospital couldn't give us any treatment apart from the injection all. So I went to another one nearby because I want him to be relieved. So I thought it's a simple procedure, whatever it costs, I'm gonna pay, even though it's his fault. These are poor people, so humanity should be at your first priority. So I took him to another one. They seem to care, but these are kind of private hospitals. If you come to Bangladesh, the dark reality of Bangladesh is everything is business because we are a poor country. Corruption is at stake. Everywhere it's corrupted. People just want to milk money and they don't want to provide really good service. So they were telling us that you have to get admitted. I'm like, but don't you want to see and treat him first? They're like, no, just get admitted for 10-15 days, then we'll see. Then I realized, I called one of my friends who's Dr. Jeffrey. He's one of my best friends. And he told me, brother, be careful from this trap because they don't really provide good treatment and they're going to really, milk your money. So he told me to go to the biggest hospital here, which is like trauma center kind of hospital. I think we call it, I forgot, like people who are with the emergency, we take them there, the biggest public hospital, and there the doctors are always there. So the whole day I ran and I had to, like, I lost track, especially like x-ray this, and you have to queue up like for hours. I did not eat anything from morning all the way. I got back at 10:30 at night, I think, and I fixed his hand and his pain was relieved. We gave him medication, everything he needed. I paid. Money was not in my priority list. My priority was to get him okay, and I am not super rich, so I cannot give him like a $1 million, right? But then he was a nice guy. Bangladesh, a lot of people are not nice. He was a very nice kid, and he understood that I took my time. Nobody does this here, like run with the rickshaw puller whole day. And I felt it was my duty, okay? And even though it was not my fault, it's a human being, okay? And I believe if I do my things right, maybe in someone along the way, maybe someone will do it for me if I am also in the same situation. So I had to see a lot of traumatizing things. That was the worst part. The emergency of one of the biggest hospitals is that you always see accident victims, people who got shot, they are like legs are broken, and the way they were screaming, man, I think the guy who got accident with me, he got so shocked, his pain was gone because they're big accident victims. And some of them were like under a car, someone got hit by a truck, and they were doing like taking them inside. Man, it's like if you haven't been to an emergency, you would not know how scary it is. And I cried, I can cry right now. And seeing this kind of suffering for people, you don't want to be there. But of course, you always should be prepared. Sometimes you may have to go to such traumatizing places, and you have to do things, even for your own relatives. You have to go to hospital once in a while. So I haven't been to hospital for, I think, 2 decades, and it was a pretty shocking experience. I came back home. I didn't realize how tired I was. I didn't eat anything the whole day. So I fed him well. My priority was to get him home safely, because he doesn't have anybody in this city. So I gave him cash, I gave him food, I gave him medicine, and I said his uncle was there. So I said bye to him. I said, this is my number. Anytime you call, you need, say, you can call me. Okay. So I was very relieved when I sent him, and I got back really late. It was jam and all that. But it shook me up pretty bad. And I will tell you, value life, and always make sure that you be careful on the road. You never know, maybe it's not your fault, but people can hit you, also can get into accidents. So keep your eyes open, right? So I'm sorry I talked so long, but it shook me up pretty bad. And this is just a series of unfortunate events I'm going through. So let's talk about I'm sorry I just gave you my updates, but let's talk about the reason why not to collect fragrances. You might be thinking I'm discouraging you to buy perfumes. No. When you have such a game, people love it more and more every day. There's no such thing called reduction in love. You either fall in love or you fall out of love. One fine day you might feel like, hey, I'm not happy with this fragrance game because it's costing me too much money, causing too much stress. Some of you may feel like that, but some of the reasons I would say from my top of my head not to collect perfume is to show others. Okay, sometimes you feel you have to be a collector to earn respect from fellow reviewers, community members, so people can call you, he's the frag king, he's the Badshah. Badshah means a king or an emperor, or he's like the great of all time. He got huge collection and he got the niche game going. So these things are not important. I would tell you, I fell for the same pitfall. When I started collecting, my main goal was I have to collect and review everything. So to gain respect or make a name, definitely it helped. Sorry. When I reviewed almost all the fragrances that I could think of, I do have many more, but the reason to collect perfume is not that. If you, let's say, are a reviewer and your goal is to do more videos on fragrances, yes, it's good. But at one point you run out of space, you run out of cash, and you put so much stress on yourself. You do not know which one you're using, which one you do have, because they're so deep down in the collection or in a box or a storeroom. So that point, it's kind of like burden. Okay. And I would say you don't have to be a collector. You can get your favorite fragrances type wise. Like say you like 10 different type of perfume: fresh, rose, tonka bean based, vanilla, leather, tobacco. You can get like one or two of each genre, like designer, niche, whatever is your game, but get some of the best, and you can use them and you can rotate them. If you do not wear a perfume but you want something else, just trade it and get something else. So I would think that's one reason to do perfume game, is that keep things sane. If you go to insane level, you will have insane amount of troubles in your lives. And some people get into business. I would say it's a good thing if you really are passionate about fragrance. If you know about perfumes, you want to do business, so love meets interest, you can do it, but you have to have a business plan. Sometimes I see kids, they get too excited with Decant business and perfume business. They don't really focus or forecast or predict the future. You cannot predict the future, that's not possible, but you have to have certain plan A, plan B. Let's say this plan A didn't work, plan B should be in your mind. You do not know what's going to happen to economy. So keeping all those things in mind, you have to invest. But if you invest out of arrogance, or you think like, hey, it's my choice, it's my business, at one point you perhaps will have no sales, and then you have to let go of your perfumes for very cheap. At that point you will actually run losses, and then you'll go out of business. Okay, so why not to get into business that if you don't have any plans, and if you are not really focused in this business, you think like, hey, it's a part-time fun thing, and you'll actually end up losing your money. So second reason not to get into fragrance game or collection. And last reason why I would say is that as I was talking in the beginning, I will show people. You're gonna get nothing out of it. Okay, like by showing people, getting respect and a like, that's all you're gonna get. And if you stop buying, people will forget you. Okay, people will not say all hail the king, the Creed Aventus collector, the dude who had everything Creed, but he doesn't buy or post no more. People will forget you. This is the reality. So it's a material game. Okay, and we all know this. So I have different angles of working. My agendas are different than many others. Like I do have a page where I recover some cost of my perfume by selling decants, so I can keep investing in perfume and create content for you. That's my number one goal. Then I make money from YouTube. That's my income source. And I've been doing this for a very long time, and the amount of work I put, I do not earn enough in a way, but then it's up to God, and whatever He decides for you is the best. So I say Alhamdulillah, thank God for everything. But if you're not going to be earning money, you're going to be wasting your money, wasting your time, just to prove a point to people that I am a collector and hardcore collector, respect me. Nah, fragrance game is not for you. If you don't especially have endless amount of cash, even if you have cash, your house will be running out of space, okay? And it will become sort of like a burden for you. Like, I don't have any space to walk in my house, right? So be mindful of that. And if you do not love a fragrance game or any game or hobby that much, do not get into it just out of addiction, okay? That would be really costly, okay? Thank you so much for watching. And always, if you watch my videos, this kind of videos, I thank you. You know, you're great. Do keep me in your prayers so I can come out of this bad patch. Even economically, I'm not doing so well because the sales fell everywhere, you know. So I still gonna do this as much as I can. Take care. Love you all and keep me in your prayers. I do the same for you. Take care. Bye-bye.